Yeah, very cool video. And Phil Mack joins us right now, Canadian Rugby Sevens captain, and with the Vikes as well. First of all, what do you think of the video? I mean, sort of
looking
cool
pretty slick.
I thought that, yeah, it looks pretty cool, and I think it's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, let's talk about this weekend, Victoria International Rugby Sevens Classic, and you guys took the.
That's right, the inaugural one. You guys won it all. I guess the U20s and in the seniors, and yeah, just how was it?
It was pretty awesome. I thought the organizers did an amazing job. Doug Tate really wanted the trophy to stay in Canada's hands, so we're happy to do it.
That's right. I think we have some highlights of the final here, if we can take a quick look at them. And just you guys were up. Well, this is actually you guys winning another tournament.
Yeah,
Canada. This is
that's actually
Mr. Moonlight, I believe.
Big John Moonlight, bullocking his way in.
That's a different tournament, but talk a little bit about this, because this was a big win for you guys as well.
This is Hong Kong. It's part of the IRB Sevens series.
Right. Yeah.
So Canada is a part in 5 of the tournaments, and you accumulate points throughout the year, and that win right there was definitely one of the big ones.
That was a big one, and this is shots from this weekend, and you guys played Fiji here in yesterday's, or rather Saturday's final, and just, I mean, it looked like a fun event. How were the crowds? I mean, you guys, the Rugby Sevens game is a lot different from regular rugby in that it's so quick, and there's you guys were playing 2 10-minute halves, is that correct?
In the final, yeah, it's 2 10-minute halves, but, it's a shorter version of the game. It's really exciting, fast-paced, and there's a high turnover rate with the teams, so it keeps the fans kind of, intrigued in the game, watching team after team take the field. Do
you think this is going to be the way that rugby goes in the future? Is it going to, remain where the 15s are, sort of the premier thing, and then this is just sort of an offshoot to it? I know that the Olympics, it'll be Olympic sport in 2016, but it's such a fun game to watch. You see, this is where rugby is going to go?
Well, I think so too. With it being in the Olympics, it's going to give some of these other countries, that don't necessarily have a shot at winning a medal.
Right.
Samoa, Fiji. It's going to give Canada.
Right.
All these other countries a chance to actually compete and win a medal, which is, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you focus primarily yourself on sevens, or do you look to play both games, or how do you go about training now?
Well, personally, I like the game of sevens. It's fast-paced and it kind of suits
You're built for that,
yeah,
aren't you?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
The speed.
But World Cup's right around the corner, and I'll definitely be observing that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Tell me about sevens and Vancouver Island people watching it this weekend, and just sort of what you heard from the fans.
Actually, you know what? It was an awesome turnout considering the weather kind of turned on us in the early morning. But I think the fans did a good job in coming out and supporting us, and really helped at the end of the day.
Easier to understand, do you think? Is that part of it? An easier game to understand for the fans?
I think so. There's a lot less whistles, and so you can just sit there as someone that doesn't know much about rugby and be entertained with the skill and athleticism.
Just see all the big hits and all that. I mean, is it potentially a game that can really get big? I mean, this Victoria International Sevens, I know this was the inaugural year of the tournament, but is this a chance for, do you think this is something that can grow, and this can be a permanent stop on the tour?
Oh, definitely. All the tournaments in the IRB series started this way, and we just got to start building some momentum, getting some other international teams in. And, we're started in the right way.
You've had a lot of success in the Rugby Sevens, and you've actually been called by some of the greats, including Gareth Rees, as one of the best Rugby 7 players in the world. How do you respond to something like that?
Well, it's always nice, the personal accolades, but, personally, I just like playing, with all my good friends.
Yeah.
And, we get to globetrot, which is always awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's right. We have actually a shot right here of a little chip and chase from you, a little cheeky one over the weekend. This was, walk us through this. This is why everyone thinks you're one of the best in the world.
Nice,
to just buzz around the competition. And it looks like you're having a lot of fun out there. Is it a funner game? Is it more interesting to play for yourself?
Well, I think, it's just another opportunity to express yourself on the field, and there's a lot of room. And, just play 1 second at a time.
Where can Canada go as far as the sevens game is concerned? I mean, can we be when the Olympics come around in Rio 16? Can we realistically medal?
I think that's the good thing about the sevens version of the game, because anything can really happen in such a short amount of time. So if you play your game, stick to your game plan, and we can upset some big teams for sure.
Is it going to affect? Is it? Having 2 sort of disciplines of rugby here on the island, I mean, this is the mecca for rugby across the country. Is it going to hurt 15s rugby, having kids learning sevens rugby, or will it complement it?
I don't think so. Like sevens they always say, you know, your skills are under a microscope. So if, you know, to play 7 successfully, you have to be able to pass, catch, tackle under extreme stress, and that translates directly to 15s.
You got to be able to do a little bit of everything. Yeah, and I mean, we did a story with some of the younger guys earlier in the week, and just talking about how they're now training specifically for Rugby 7. So they're actually training because it is a different style of game, and because you kind of need to be able to do everything. So is that the way where you see it going? Are we going to be just developing guys to only play the 7s game?
Well, it's hard to say now, but I can definitely see, you know, a crossroad coming where there are going to be some guys that just play 7s, and there's going to be some guys that play 15s. But it's not a bad thing. You know, it's both games help each other out. So, you know, the more we actually just play the game of rugby, the better we'll be.
Talk about growing up on the, you know, on the island and watching rugby. Who are your heroes growing up? I guess Gareth Rees must be one of them, and guys like that.
Gareth Rees, you know, Gary Johnson, my high school coach, was a big reason I was actually involved in the sport. Other guys like Dave Moonlight, you know, he was kind of my mentor when I first started playing 7s. There's a long list of players that, you know, I admire, and, you know, just happy to be a part of it all now.
Why is it so great here? Why why is it not taken off in Ontario and Saskatchewan and that type of thing? Is it just merely because of hockey, or is it because we've got great coaching and great athletes here?
I think, you know, a combination. We have some of the greatest coaches in the country here. We can play rugby 12 months of the year, and, you know, I don't really have an answer for that.
No.
It is what it is.
Did you play any hockey growing up?
No.
No.
Right into the rugby.
To the short game. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. I mean, that's it's exciting that this tournament could gain that much traction. I mean, what were the crowds like this week? Because it looked like they were pretty decent.
Yeah, they were good. You know, early morning, and it was a bit raining and cloudy, and it was you know, a bit dull then, but then as soon as the clouds broke, people started coming out in some heavy numbers, so it was awesome.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. We appreciate that. And that is another edition of Game On here on CHEK 6. And, of course, Phil knows this, Paul knows this. You guys must know it at home as well. Each and every Monday night, your local sports fix, 7 o'clock and 10:30 here on CHEK 6. It is Game On.
Thanks for joining us.